rise above, extinguish fear, rise above, extinguish fear.
Welcome, guys. Welcome back to another Coviet Union news broadcast brought to you by Rise Above. Today, we have got a very exclusive interview of a dissenter, a defector, and a traitor of the Coviet Union who was happily arrested at an anti-Coviet, anti-lockdown protest last week. I'm just going to show you a clip of what happened in London last week before we invite our guest on.
He tackled him. I was like, oh my god, what are you doing? What is that?
They're all on the naughty list, don't worry. I've got less to do. No presents.
So, as we can see, in the capital, we had a number of traitors, defectors and dissenters protesting against our glorious Coviet Union restrictions. There were hundreds and hundreds of them arrested. And as we saw at the end, there was one particular arrest of a character in a red costume with a white beard. He was bundled into a police van. I've been very lucky to get this individual on the show for an interview. So let's invite him into the Coviet Rise Above studio. Hello there, sir.
How are we doing?
Fine. First of all, do you prefer to be called Father Christmas or Santa Claus?
I prefer Father Christmas, if that's okay. Thank you. I think Santa's a little bit too informal. I like Father Christmas.
No problem. We always check people's pronouns here at the Coviet Union to make sure we're politically correct. So I will be referring to you here on in as Father Christmas. Now, Father Christmas, as you're aware, we are no longer living in the United Kingdom. We are living under the rule of the Coviet Union, and we have some very strict protocols, regulations, and restrictions to keep everyone under absolute care and comfort. Now, as we saw there in the video from the capital last week, you were arrested by Coviet forces. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you got a long history of being a traitor, defector, dissenter? Have you attended protests before?
I have attended plenty of protests before, yes, indeed. I firmly believe in the right to protest and to stand up for your rights. Because unless you stand up for your rights, you will very quickly lose your rights. So you must continuously protest and fight for your freedom.
So you are fighting for your rights, but what about all of the amazing rights, comfort and care that is being awarded to all these loyal citizens of the Coviet Union that aren't protesting? The right to stay at home, the right not to see their friends and family, the right to live in constant fear. What about those rights? Don't you respect them?
Well, I will take us back to that same old analogy of the frog in the water. And when you boil the water slowly, the frog doesn't even realise it's being boiled alive, which is exactly what's taken place. Slowly but surely, the drip drip effect, taking away our freedoms, peeling away the layers like an onion until there's nothing left, until there are no freedoms. Do you remember when they told us it was going to be 2 weeks just to flatten the curve? Do you remember that? 2 weeks? 9 months later. 9 months later.
Comrade, it still stands. 2 more weeks to flatten the curve. You don't believe the Coviets?
I mean, really? Is there anything that makes any sense at all that we've been told?
It makes
Anything
perfect sense to
whatsoever?
me. It makes perfect sense to me. Everyone needs to stay at home, lock themselves away, and continually consume the Coviet mainstream media to keep in a cycle of everlasting fear. Isn't it obvious?
Oh my word, the lies, the levels of lies. It's just one layer of lies upon another, upon another, upon another. The lies have built up so high that they don't even know and remember what they started it with. It's incredible.
Well,
Absolutely incredible.
we have a saying here in the Coviet Union that a lie told often enough becomes the truth.
Joseph Goebbels said that in 1934, if I'm
capitalist pig. He's a capitalist pig, comrade. So let's move on. Now, you have a duty of care to millions of children around the world.
Of course, I am the most caring person there is. I'm Father Christmas. I travel the world once a year to bring love, cheer, and merriment to millions and millions of people. It's a wonderful honour.
How have our COVID restrictions and our glorious lockdowns affected your business this year?
Well, it's going to be very difficult trying to socially distance reindeer when they're all tied together. That is going to be a bit of a problem. I don't quite know how we're going to deal with that.
2 meters on the reins, an extra. Can you lengthen the reins?
It's going to be long, but I'm going to try. And the elves, they're not washing their hands. They're not scrubbing their hands with industrial alcohol every 5 minutes, which is a bit of a problem. I've got plastic barriers up everywhere, trying to keep them apart from one another, and it's just not working out at all well. So I don't quite know what we're going to do. I'm thinking about just buying all my presents on Amazon this year and just stacking all of them.
Well, that would be an excellent idea. We've already transferred an extra $10 billion into the bank account of Chairman Bezos. So the wealth grab and the wealth redistribution is already well underway. So if you could actually redistribute all of your present buying wealth into Amazon, I think that would be an amazing achievement.
Well, do you know what? I think he deserves it. I think he's worked really hard. I mean, he's on that beach and he's supping back on those cocktails with all those lovely ladies around him. I mean, it's hard work. It's hard work being on these tropical islands. So,
What about vaccination? Obviously, we are now rolling out the super duper safe Pfizer mRNA vaccine. It's going to be absolutely it's going to be suggested that everybody takes it. When are you going to be having your vaccine, Father Christmas?
Well, I'm very much looking forward to being injected with a toxic combination of untested and untrialed chemicals into my bloodstream. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I know the elves are, certainly.
Yeah, there's actually been talk in the Commons. I don't know if you're aware of this in the last couple of days in between some backbenchers and Jacob Rees-Mogg. The backbenchers are actually suggesting that Santa has to be vaccinated this year. Jacob Rees-Mogg has stuck his head above the parapet and actually defied the Coviet Union. He suggested that there could be a travel corridor using a digital immunity passport if you have testing for yourself, reindeers, and all elves, and you could actually be allowed free access into the Coviet Union to deliver maybe a small amount of presents this year, if you're lucky.
Well, yes, if I'm lucky, but we really have to ask that question, that we have to be blackmailed and forced and coerced into taking a vaccine for something that hasn't actually even been isolated for a virus.
That's a capitalist lie. That's a lie. We have isolated it.
That we need to be tested for. That is so dangerous that we don't even know when we have it. I mean, wow.
It sounds that's a glorious virus to me. That sounds like a glorious Coviet pandemic.
Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing?
It's an amazing achievement. Absolutely amazing.
Isn't it amazing?
Let's go back to last week. We saw there on the clip that our glorious Coviet forces were acting with super efficiency to round up all the dirty students, the capitalist pigs, the intellectuals wearing glasses. Now, we saw that you were under detention. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened?
Well, we had all gone there, lots and lots of people. There were thousands of people. It was a wonderful atmosphere. It was like a big carnival, like a big Christmas carnival. There were elves, there were people there with sweets, and it was just wonderful. It was just a great vibe, great Christmas, an early Christmas vibe. It was an absolute treat. And we were marching with our placards. It was very peaceful. And then, as we've seen many times before, along come all these wonderful COVID forces that come pouring out of vans that are lined up in front of us.
Very efficiently
With their batons and their riot helmets at the ready. Because we looked such a dangerous group of people. I mean, we really did. I mean, there were children there, babies in buggies, there were mums, there were grandparents. I mean, we must have looked terrified. I really feel sorry for those police officers having to face that. I mean, must have been awful for
A
them.
highly dangerous group of domestic terrorists is how we would actually decree you, yeah. So when you were arrested, how were you treated by the COVIET forces?
Well, I was approached and they said that I was acting illegal. I needed to leave. I explained that I was with family members and Mrs. Claude and elves. And before I know where I am, my arms are being taken behind me and I'm being handcuffed. I was given no chance at all. And
what happened after you were taken away?
Well, I was taken to a police station in central London, obviously. I think it was King Charles Street, where I was interviewed, if you like, and questioned, etc. All the while I've got handcuffs behind my back. Eventually, I was taken to Wembley Police Station and I was let out 17 and a half hours thereafter. So it's put me back.
What were you charged with?
I was charged of a breach of the Coronavirus Act, but I was never interviewed.
You were never interviewed?
I was never interviewed.
I hope you got a heavy fine.
Well, it's looking like it could be bad. I don't know. No one's talking to me.
So you haven't been fined yet?
I haven't been fined yet. I have absolutely no idea where this is going to go. Well, I believe. No, nothing. No, I wasn't given any bail. I wasn't given anything. I was just released. So we have to wait and see what's going to happen, really.
I'll just let you know I'm going to write a letter of request to make sure you get a £10,000 fine.
£10,000?
Yeah, I think you should be very pleased and feel very fortunate to only receive a small £10,000 fine.
Well, it's going to be good to know that money's going to go towards the TSG
track and trace. We'll make a donation to Serco as well.
Well, I would like to I propose that £10,000 goes towards buying the police some new vans because they're quite disgusting inside. They need a good hoover out.
I'll have you know that a lot of those vans are paid for by Serco and they spend a lot of money on those disgusting vans, so don't complain. Now, we've seen your crimes. We're hoping that you're going to get punished for it. Have you got a message you'd like to put out to any other defectors, dissenters or traitors regarding your views of the Coviet Union?
I would just like to say, remember and never ever forget that there has been literally tens of thousands of people in this country that have given their lives to fight against dictatorial governments abroad and anywhere else. And unless we fight now, we risk losing our freedom. Freedom, despite its name, is not free. You have to fight for it daily. We've become very, very complacent with our freedom, and now we risk losing it. We must stand up now together. It's the 99%. The 1% of the 1% control us, abuse us, and laugh at us. They look at us as if we are ants in an ant farm. And now's the time. Now's the time we stand up together. As the 99% we say enough. Not around anymore. We've taken it back. The only power you've got over us is the power that we allow you to have, and we're taking it back. We're going to take it back. That's what I've got to say.
Frankly, to me, that sounds like pure capitalist pig lies. So I would like to thank you for coming on the show today, Father Christmas. I'd just like to finish by saying, in my opinion, you're lucky you're actually allowed to walk the streets. You know, if the Coviet Union really had their way, we'd simply just ban Christmas. We're already trying to ban celebrations, singing, laughing, freely associating with people that live outside of your house. So enjoy your freedom while you can. It's going to be short-lived. And thank you very much for coming on the show today to tell your story.
Thank you for having me. I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas, and I look forward to going around and climbing down your chimneys and delivering presents. Be wonderful.
Okay. Well, if I had my way, you'd be going straight to the gulag. Well, that's enough of him. So, more capitalist pig lies from the absolute icon of capitalism, Father Christmas. No space for that here in the Coviet Union, comrades. Tune in next time.
No predictions or prophecies, just scriptures and mythologies. No instructions in an odyssey. Inhale, exhale logically, part of the tribe. Earn my stride, hump with the pack. Long dark night, poison darts, long blow pipes. I take aim at the moon shines bright. Entered this jungle as a student. I was acting humble and prudent, practicing to become fluent in a sacred tribal movement. Master arts the shamans using, elevating to more than a human. Raise the vibes so the hate's reducing. Absorb the light the sun's producing. Air's electric, feeling the charge of thunder. Dark foreboding sky we got under. Hectic in the presence of wonder. Open your eyes, awake from the slumber. Life is a prey, act like a hunter. Enter the battle, emerge from the bunker. It is the rain dance, I am the drummer. Dance in the rain, it's a stormy summer, look yonder.